Hi everyone, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to deliver the first material in course English for travel and tourism industry. What I like to present to you today is about introduction to travel and tourism industry. Travel and tourism is one of the largest sectors in the world in terms of generating jobs and income. It becomes important part of how we live today because most people like to travel regularly for work and leisure. After watching the video, you have to be able to understand the concept of travel and tourism, types of tourism, and the last one is the components of tourism industry. So, are you ready guys? Let's get started. Let's begin with travel and tourism. So, travel is defined as the movement of people or objects to countries or places for some reasons such as business, pleasure, education, and visiting. How about tourism? Actually, there are many definitions about tourism, but I took only two of them. According to Parks 2001, tourism is a collection of activities, services, and industries that delivers a travel experience including transportation, accommodation, food and beverage, shops, entertainment business, and other facilities and also hospitality services provided for individuals or group traveling away from home. While based on United Nations World Tourism Organization in 2008, tourism is a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon which entails the movement of people to countries or places outside their usual environment for personal or business professional purposes. And these people are called visitors, which may be either tourists or excursionists, residents or non-residents. And tourism has to do with their activities, some of which imply tourism expenditures. So, from those definitions, we can conclude that tourism is a business phenomena because it produces a business activity that the people in that activity will move to countries or places outside their usual environment or outside their natural or normal place or hometown. You get the point? Okay, very good. Now let's go to the types of tourism. There are three main types of tourism, like domestic tourism, incoming or inbound tourism, and outbound tourism. The first tourism is domestic tourism. This is when the people take holidays, short breaks, and day trips in their own country. The example would be a couple taking a weekend break in their own country, or the supporters of football team going to away game featuring their local team, or a family visiting relations in another part of the country, even they live only a few miles away. While incoming or inbound tourism, this describes a people entering the country in questions from their home country, so it's type of international tourism. For example, a party of Japanese visitors coming to Europe on trip, or families from Pakistan entering England to visit relations. And the last one is outbound tourism. This term applies when people travel away from their home country to visit other international country for leisure or business. For example, a family from Belgium going to Australia for holiday, or business people from UK traveling to America to visit a major exhibition. You get the point, guys? Okay, good. And talking about tourists, there are some types of tourists, depends on the type of the tourism. But first of all, I would like to define what tourist is. So, a tourist is defined as someone who travels at least 80 kilometers from his or her home for at least 24 hours for business or leisure or other reasons. So, you are not regarded as a tourist when you travel no more than 80 kilometers and stay no more than 24 hours. And there are two types of tourists. The first one is domestic. So they are residents of a given country traveling only within that country. They just visit other part of their own country. And the second one is inbound. So they are non-residents traveling in a given country. And the last one is outbound. They are residents of one country traveling in another country. The next discussion is about some reason why people travel. People travel for a lot of different reasons, but mainly for leisure, business, and visiting friends and relatives, or VFR. Let's discuss one by one. In leisure travel, the travelers may be on holiday or taking a trip of particular cultural or personal interest. When traveling for leisure reasons, tourists are taking trips and making journeys in their own leisure time. That is when they are not working. While in business travel, usually the people often attend meetings, conferences, exhibitions, and events, or we call it MICE. When traveling for business reasons, travelers are attending location and venues for work purposes, and it is often the employer who pays for the travel and accommodation. And the last one is visiting friends and relatives. Another very common reason for making a journey is to go and visit your friends and relatives. People may travel with friends or families to visit their friends and relatives if they have emigrated to another country and have moved away from work or study. I also put here other reasons to travel. For example, agrotourism, where visitors are interested in farms and their countryside. And also there's a dog tourism. This tourism associated with war, death, and tragic events. And then there's a faith tourism. It's about religious travel. There's a health tourism, pink tourism, sport tourism, education tourism, and actually many others tourism that are not included here. Okay, now I have a task for you. So, in this task, I want you to work in pairs. You have to think about the holidays, trip, and visit taken by yourself, your friends, or your family. Label each activity as leisure business, VF or tourism, domestic, inbound or outbound tourism, and any other category that may describe each activity. Record your information in the table. You can look at the example. The last discussion is the components of tourism industry. There are 5 components in tourism industry. They are accommodation, food and beverage, recreation, entertainment, transportation, and travel services. For the accommodation, the example is hotel, motel, apartment, bungalow, cottage, and extra. For food and beverage services, or commonly known as F&B, usually it is associated with catering. And then the next one is recreation and entertainment. So it will be about the tourist attraction offered in tourism. And the next one is transportation. It's a vehicle that is used during the trip or a tour. For example, airplane, bus, ship, motorcycle, and etc. And the next one is travel services. So, to assist people with their travel arrangements, there are special travel service providers. These include travel agencies, tour operator, tour guide, and etc. We will discuss it further in the next meeting. And to end the video, I will give you a mini project. Please work in pairs and make a survey on the reasons why people travel. Include leisure, business, or visiting friends and relatives, and other reasons such as culture, education, and etc. And for the survey must be distributed to at least 20 respondents. And the second one, based on the result, please assess the economic contribution to Indonesia economy. And the next one is explain how different types of tourism contribute to Indonesia economy. Please report your findings in the form of charts and also description. I think that's all about introduction to travel and tourism industry. I hope after watching the video, you will get some enlightenments and new insight about a travel and tourism world. Thank you very much for watching the video. See you in the next video.